Hello everyone, welcome to the new session of Microbiology Protozoa. So in this session we are going to study about what are protozoa, right? Microbiology, that is a branch of biology that we study for microbes, right? There are many minute microorganisms that cannot be seen with our naked eye. We require special aid to see them. So the protozoa also comes under that category, that you require a special aid, that is the microscope, to see them under the microscope, right? So in this session we are going to study about the protozoa, and we all know that protozoa belong to the Protista kingdom. Protista, right? In Protista, unicellular eukaryote organism comes, right? So that we are going to study as a component, that is the protozoa. Then there are many you can say unicellular algae and fungi are there, and also some desmids and dinoflagellates that also comes under this kingdom, Protista. So here we will talk about just simple protozoa, right? So we will have an introduction on protozoa. We will see the different features of protozoa, what are the general characteristics we can say, right? Then there are some major groups of protozoa, and regarding all those groups we will see the general features of those groups, and also we will see what are the examples. So all that we are going to study in this major groups of the protozoa. Now after that we will study about the protozoan diseases. There are many diseases that is caused by the protozoa, so that also we are going to study in this session. So let us start. The term protozoa was coined by Goldfuss in 1817, right? So this was the first time this term was given by Goldfuss, and this term is given to the unicellular eukaryotes, organisms that are unicellular eukaryotes, that is the protozoa. Right? Protozoa consist of animal-like protists. Now, protists are what? Protists are the unicellular eukaryotes. Now, in unicellular eukaryotes, both plants and animal comes. In protist, we keep unicellular eukaryote. Now, they can be of animal unicellular cell, or they can be plant unicellular, right? So the protozoa consists of animal-like protists, but this protozoa comes under this category, that they are unicellular eukaryotic animal cell, right? Their cell are of animal, not like of plant cell, means they do not contain cell wall, do not contain cell wall. Okay, so these exhibit a protoplasmic level of organization. So they are having protoplasm. They will have a cell, that is the animal cell, that means it is having plasma membrane. Then they will have a nucleus, right? And they will have some other organelle that is present in the cytoplasm. Okay, so protoplasmic level of organization they are having. The working of whole organism is confined within the boundaries of a single cell. So whatever the metabolic activities, all the metabolic activities takes place in the cell only, takes place in unicell only. So what are those? Respiration, excretion, right? Then there is a we can say synthesis, protein synthesis. Okay, all these processes take place in one cell only, because its body is just made up of one cell, right? So within the boundaries of a single cell, it is showing all the activities, all the vital activities that a living cell possesses. So they are having the respiration process, they are having the excretion process, and also the protein synthesis process take place in this particular cell only. Body is symmetrical or asymmetrical. In some of the examples, you will see that the body is symmetrical. Symmetrical means either they can be divided into two equal halves through a single plane, or it cannot be divided into two equal halves through any plane, right? It cannot be divided. Like in the case of amoeba, do not have any particular shape, so you cannot divide the amoeba through a plane, right? But symmetry can be seen in the case of trypanosoma, like they are having the trypanosoma. So here we can divide it into two equal halves longitudinally. So in some of the cases, we can see they are having the symmetrical body, whereas in some cases we see that they are not having any symmetry in their body, that is asymmetrical, as we can see in the case of amoeba. Okay, free living or parasitic. So some of the organisms, some of the individual of the parasites are parasitic. Protozoa are parasitic, whereas some are free living. Free living means they live in environment, live in water, right? Whereas some are parasitic. The best example is the entamoeba. Entamoeba histolica, that causes amoebic dysentery, right? So this is one of the examples that is a parasitic in nature, whereas some are free living, right? Solitary or colonial. So some are solitary, live as a single individual, they live in the environment singly, but some lives in a colony. Okay, so this is some of the features that the protozoa are having. Just have a quick revision on that. The term protozoa was coined by the Goldfuss in 1817. So this was the term protozoa was given by the Goldfuss. Now what does the protozoa mean? Protozoa consists of the animal like protist, means the protistants are having unicellular eukaryotic animals, right? And this comes under the Protista kingdom, right? These exhibit a protoplasmic level of organization. Protoplasmic level of organization means this is the cell membrane, right? Inside it, cytoplasm is there, nucleus is there, and all the membrane bound organelles are there. So whatever the metabolic activities, whatever the vital activities that are required for the survival of any organism, it takes place in the cytoplasm only, right? Body is symmetrical or asymmetrical. So in some of the organism, you can see they are having the symmetrical body, means that can be divided into two equal halves, whereas in some cases they are having the asymmetrical body, means the body cannot be divided into two equal halves. They can be free living or parasitic, means some are live as an environment in aquatic environment, whereas some lives as a parasite inside the human body or any other animal body. The best example is the entamoeba histolica, whereas other parasitic is plasmodium also. We will see that plasmodium, right? They can be solitary or colony. They can live as a single individual in the environment, or sometimes they live in a form of a colony, right? So This is about the protozoa, some of the general feature. Now, the protozoa are eukaryotic. If we talk about the cell, what type of cell they are having, then they are eukaryotic, unicellular. Their body is made up of one cell only, unicellular. Heterotrophic organism. Heterotrophic organism means they cannot make their own food. They cannot make their own food. So this is the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic, in contrary, that is, they can make their own food. Means the green plants that possesses the chlorophyll, they can make their own food. But here, the organism do not have any chlorophyll, so they cannot make their own food. And that can be either parasites or free living. So what they do, they live as a parasite. Some of the individual that they live as a parasite, whereas some are the free living. Means they are present in the environment, they are present in the aquatic environment. So they exhibit an enormous range of morphologies and lack cell wall, right? So they are having different morphologies. Just now we can see here the three examples of the protozoa. Now, if you see the entamoeba histolytica, you can see a different shape, oval shape somewhat like this. If you see this plasmodium, it's somewhat the spindle shape like this. And if you see the paramecium, its animal name, common name is the slipper animalcule. Means the shape of the paramecium is like slipper. And it is having cilia attached all over its body surface. This is a very important organism of this particular kingdom. So they do not have cell wall. Means it is an animal cell. No cell wall means it is an animal cell. So some of the examples that are showing here, that is the entamoeba, plasmodium and paramecium. Now if you see the amoeba also, the amoeba is like this. You can see this is the nucleus and this is the, you can say, pseudopodia. Pseudopodia. No no shape of it is. This organism do not have any particular shape. It changes shape from one place to another when it is moving, when it is showing the locomotion. Okay, so here you can see the different morphologies of the organism, right? So we cannot say that this is the shape of or this is the size of any protozoa. The protozoa to protozoa, the morphology changes. So it is showing the enormous range of morphologies and they do not have any cell wall, means they lack cell wall. Okay. So protozoa are the eukaryotic unicellular heterotrophic organism, means they are eukaryotic. True nucleus is there. Membrane bound organelles are there. Unicellular. Unicellular means their body is just made up of one cell only and they are heterotrophic organism. They cannot make their own food. They live as a parasitic mode of nutrition or as a free living, means they can take the food material, they engulf the food material, they digest it, makes the food vacuole, then they digest that food with the help of different enzymes, assimilate it and then ingest the undigested food. So this happens in the case of free living. But in the parasitic, there is a quite different. They take the nourishment from the host body. Okay. So this is a different mode. Now they exhibit the enormous range of morphologies. Just now we have seen with the some of the examples like amoeba, entamoeba, plasmodium, paramecium. Each individual is having a different shape, means enormous range of morphologies they are having. But they do not have any cell wall. They lack cell wall. Okay. And that's why they are not showing any fixed shape. And the examples are amoeba, entamoeba, plasmodium and paramecium. The main locomotory organelles are pseudopodia, flagella or cilia. So there are different organisms and they possesses different locomotory organelles. Like if we see the amoeba, what they are having? This is the nucleus, this is the contractile vacuole, and other cell organelles are also present. Okay, so this is what? Pseudopodia. Okay, now if we see trypanosoma, right, they could have this flagellum like, and this is the flagella, locomotory organ. With this flagella, this organism move from one place to another. Cilia, just now we have seen a slipper animalcule. I'm again drawing. So this is the paramecium. It's having cilia all over its body surface like this. So this is the cilia. They are having two nucleus, macro and micro nucleus. So this is a very important feature of this, right? Contractile vacuole, two contractile vacuole at the two end, large and small, and they are having cilia. So this is the cilia as a locomotory organ. Pseudopodia, flagella and cilia, these are the main locomotory organelles, right? Osmoregulation is performed by the contractile vacuole. Now they are having this contractile vacuole. Contractile vacuole. Here also CV, contractile vacuole. Now, what is the function of this contractile vacuole? Now they take food material, they take water material, whatever the waste material is there, that is stored in this contractile vacuole. If the lots of water comes under this body of the amoeba, that gets stored or collected, extra water gets stored or collected in this contractile vacuole, and time to time this water is egested out, means the water is removed out. Okay, the same way here also this contractile vacuole also do the same function in the case of paramecium. Now if we have to compare the organs that are present in the human body with the contractile vacuole, then which organ will you select? It will be kidney. So kidney in case of human do the process of osmoregulation. Osmoregulation means it regulate the osmolarity. Osmoregulation means the organ that regulate the osmolarity, means the water content is in control of this particular organelle. How much water has to be retained in the cell, that is controlled by this organelle, that is called osmoregulation. Right? Osmolarity regulation, that means it regulate the how much amount of water has to be there inside the body at a one instant. So what does it do? If it is less amount of water present, then water can move in the body, and if it is a large amount of water is there, then it can take the water and it can remove out from the body. So this is the function of this contractile vacuole. So this function is all means this type of activity in our body is performed by which organelle? That is kidney. Gaseous exchange and the excretion are performed by diffusion through the general body surface. Now the gaseous exchange take place means whatever the extra oxygen or the oxygen that is required by the body, it is taken by the general body surface. Okay, that is dissolved in the water, and the gaseous exchange and the excretion, and whatever the excretory matter that is present in the cell is with the help of contractile vacuole, it is removed out. So gaseous exchange and the excretion are performed by the diffusion Diffusion means movement of the water or movement of the excretory matter from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. So if the body is having a lot of water inside it, so water will move from higher to the lower concentration, means out of the body. And if the excretory substances that is present inside the body, then it has to be removed out. So by the process of diffusion only, means from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration, that excretory substance is removed out from the body. Reproduction may be asexual, means no sexes are involved, right? No two individual, that is the male or female, it will be involved. Binary fission. Binary fission, we all know that the one cell is there. Suppose one cell is there, right? What happened? The nucleus of this one cell, the content of the nucleus, that is the chromatin material. Chromatin material. With the process of replication, it double itself. Suppose this was C, then here after the replication, the chromatin material will become 2C. Double of this. Suppose it was C, then it will become 2C. Okay. And what will happen? Then the nucleus will divide into two. Here we can see the constriction in the nucleus, and it is division of the cell is taking place here by the constriction in the cytoplasm as well as the nucleus also. So what will happen? Next, the nucleus will divide into two nucleus. Here you can see, and here you can see that cytoplasm division is also taking place by the constriction from here in the center by both the sides, right? And what will happen later? Two daughter cells. In the case of amoeba, it is called as two daughter amoebae. So that is formed here. These are the daughter cells. Okay, so the reproduction may be asexual, that is by the binary fission, and multiple fission. So we are having the multiple fission also. Now what happened in the case of multiple fission? That we can see in the case of plasmodium. Now in the case of plasmodium, the cyst is formed like this in the unfavorable condition, and the cell divide into two like this. The division of the cells take place. Now these two cells again divide and form two cells, means total 4 cells. Now this 4 cell again divide and form 8 cells. Now this will again divide and it will form 16 cells. So like this we can see the number of cells like this present here. So this is what? This is the multiple fission. This we can see in the case of entamoeba, and also in the case of plasmodium, malarial parasite plasmodium that causes malaria. That also belong to this protozoa only, that is the plasmodium. You all know. Okay, so entamoeba and plasmodium is showing multiple fission. Okay, and sexual reproduction also we can see in the case of conjugation, that is called as conjugation in the case of paramecium, right? So we can see the different types of reproduction, that is the asexual by the process of binary fission, multiple fission in the case of entamoeba and plasmodium, and sexual reproduction, that is in the case of paramecium by the process of conjugation, right? So the main locomotory organelle, that is the pseudopodia, flagella or cilia. Osmoregulation is performed by the organelle that is called as contractile vacuole. Okay, it is present in the amoeba, entamoeba, and also in the case of paramecium, two contractile vacuoles are present at both the ends. Reproduction may be asexual, that is a binary fission, and multiple fission. Asexual we can see simply in the case of amoeba, right? And multiple fission we can see in the case of Entamoeba histolytica and Plasmodium. So Plasmodium is a malarial parasite, whereas the Entamoeba histolytica is again an endoparasite that causes amoebic dysentery. Okay, and gaseous exchange and the excretion are performed by the diffusion process through general body surface. Okay, now here we are having the major groups of the protozoa. So protozoa are characterized based on the nuclei type, reproduction method, and the locomotion mechanism into the following. So what type of nuclei they are having, what type of reproduction method they are following, and what type of locomotion mechanism they are following. On the basis of that, the protozoa can be divided into 4 different groups. Okay, what are the groups called? Amoeboid protozoan means the group that is having one of the member as amoeba. Flagellated protozoan, trypanosoma means the organisms or the individual that possesses flagella for the locomotory or as a locomotory organelle, then it belongs to the flagellated protozoan, trypanosoma. It's example. Ciliated protozoan, that is the paramecium. Okay, next is the sporozoans, that is Plasmodium. So all these 4 different types of organelles groups that we can see, this is based on, this group has been divided based on the type of nucleus they are having, the type of reproductive method they are following, the type of locomotion mechanism they are following, right? And on the basis of that, that has been divided into amoeboid protozoan, flagellated protozoan, ciliated protozoan, and sporozoan. If we see an example, amoeboid protozoan, example amoeba, right? So pseudopodia is there, no locomotory special organ is there. That is also called as false foot. So this is having pseudopodia. This is also known as false foot. With the help of this false foot means where it has to move, it invaginate. It gives out a false foot-like structure. This is called as pseudopodia, right? So in this way, it moves with the help of this false foot. It moves from one place to another. Pseudopodia, right? Okay. The first one is amoeboid protozoan. Pseudopodia are the organelles for the locomotion and food capture. A single nucleus usually present. So here we can see the pseudopodia. Suppose this is an amoeba. I'm drawing here. This is an amoeba, and it see that some food material is there. Now it has to capture this food. Now what it do? It make a cavity like a structure by giving rise to pseudopodia like this. Okay. This is the nucleus and this is the food. Now it is moving this way like this. These are the 2 pseudopodia. 2 pseudopodia, right? And it will close and capture this food material. And it will form what? Food vacuole. It will form food vacuole. This is the food vacuole. And in this food vacuole, many enzymes are given and it will digest this food which is present inside this food vacuole. And this is the nucleus, you can see, right? So this pseudopodia is very, very important, and it helps in the locomotion, moving this amoeba from one place to another. And also you can see how it is helping in the capture of the food. A single nucleus usually present. So it is having a single nucleus. Why it is written here single nucleus? Because there is a one class which possesses two nucleus. So this is a very important point. Body may be covered by the plasma membrane or the silica shell. Some of the organism, in fact most of the organism, they are having the plasma membrane, simple plasma membrane as the body cavity, body covering, not the body cavity, body covering, plasma membrane. Whereas some of the individual, they are having silica shell, means silica is deposited all over the covering of the organism and it form a type of shell that is called as silica shell. Free living or parasitic. Some of the individual that are belongs to the amoeboid protozoan group, they are, some are free living but some are parasitic as well. Contractile vacuole is present for the osmoregulation. For the process of osmoregulation, they are having the contractile vacuole. Means they take up the extra water from the cell and they give out from their body. So this contractile vacuole is helping in the process of osmoregulation that is present in the amoeboid protozoan. Asexual reproduction, that is the binary fission or multiple fission. So asexual mode of reproduction, we have already discussed how it takes place by the process of binary fission, means one of the cell divide into two cells by the division of the nucleus. Now these two cells may again divide and forms the two cells like this. So each division by, and what type of division it is taking place? By the process of simple mitosis division. Simple mitosis. Okay, so binary fission. Now again the multiple fission is also that mitosis only, but what happening is there, one nucleus divide into many nucleus like this, many nucleus, and each nucleus takes a bit of cytoplasm surrounding each nucleus and a membrane is laid around it. So this is called as multiple fission. Multiple fission, one nucleus is dividing multiple time and giving rise to the multiple cells. So the multiple fission. So this we can see in the case of Entamoeba histolytica, right? Entamoeba histolytica. Sexual reproduction if present by the syngamy, and examples are the amoeba and entamoeba. So these are the two different examples of this particular class. Next is the flagellated protozoan. Organelles for the locomotion or are flagella. So they are having a special flagella through which they can move from one place to the another. So this is the example, that is the trypanosoma, right? So it is having the membranous invagulations and they are having the nucleus, contractile vacuole, right? And they are having a large flagella for the locomotion. That is why it is called as flagellated protozoan. Okay, they can be free living or parasitic, means, and trypanosoma that causes Kala Azar. This causes a disease that is called Kala Azar. Okay. Nutrition mainly by the saprotrophic. So saprotrophic mode of nutrition means saprotroph, it takes the food material from the dead decaying matter. Asexual reproduction by the longitudinal binary fission. So this particular cell divide in this way from the longitudinal division and it gave rise nucleus this side. So each this will form a new two cells like this. So longitudinal binary fission is taking place in this case. This is the asexual mode of reproduction in the case of flagellated protozoan. An example is the trypanosoma. Next is the ciliated protozoan. Ciliated protozoan, organelles for the locomotion and food capture, that is the cilia. Cilia that is present all over the body surface. For example, in the case of paramecium, we can see like this. Okay, paramecium, the cilia is present all over its body surface. They are having two nucleus. They are having the mouth opening that is called as gullet. Okay, gullet. And they are having two contractile vacuole at each end. I'm drawing in a rough way. But here what is more important, that it is a cilia that is present all over the body surface, and it is helping in the locomotion as well as the capture of the food. They are mostly free living, but some are parasitic as well. Possesses a gullet cavity to ingest food. So they do not take the food whatever all over the body surface. They are having engulfing organ that is called as gullet, or you can say the mouth also, right? A cavity that can take the food material, special cavity, and that is called as gullet. Trichocysts contain a thin non-toxic filament, and that are the organelle of defense. So here at this surface they are having the trichocyst also. Now the trichocysts are the organ of defense. Whenever they see any organism that may cause harm to this, they just pinch out and they can protect themselves. So this is called as the organelle of defense, and this is found in the paramecium trichocyst. Reproduction is by conjugation method. This is the sexual mode of reproduction. Sexual mode of reproduction. Okay. Exhibit nuclear dimorphism. Nuclear dimorphism means macronucleus controls the vegetative activities, whereas the micronuclei take part in reproduction. Two nucleus are there, macronucleus and micronucleus. So the macronucleus is taking part in the vegetative activities, whereas the micronuclei that take part in the reproduction process. And the best example is the paramecium. Sporozoans, all are endoparasites. So this is basically a parasitic mode of nutrition they are following. Parasitic mode of nutrition they are following. All are endoparasite, means inside the body they live. And the locomotory organ are cilia, flagella, pseudopodia. Any of this they can have that are totally absent. All these locomotory organs are totally absent in the case of sporozoans. Nutrition is parasitic, means they takes the digested food material that the body is having, right? And the phagotrophy is rare. Body is covered with an elastic pellicle or the cuticle. Now the whole body is covered by a covering that is called as a pellicle. This is called as a pellicle. Now this pellicle is providing protection from all the enzymes or the secretions that from the body that in which they are living. It can damage to this sporozoan. So they are having this elastic pellicle or the cuticle. Contractile vacuoles are absent. No contractile vacuole is there to control the water regulation. Reproduction is asexual, that is the multiple fission, and the sexual, that is by the process of syngamy. Okay, so asexual, that is multiple fission. We have already seen the one nucleus divide into the multiple nucleus, and small bit of cytoplasm is taken by each nucleus surrounding them, and plasma membrane is laid down to form a single cell. So in this way multiple cells are formed, and that is why it is called as multiple fission. This is the asexual mode of reproduction. In the sexual, syngamy process takes place. Male gamete, female gamete unite together and form the zygote that can give rise to, by the process of meiosis, 4 individuals, right? Life cycle consists of the 2 distinct asexual and sexual phases. So sometime we can see we are having the asexual as well as the sexual phase in their life cycle. Both are there. Plasmodium, that causes the malaria. right? Monocystis and emeria. So these are some of the examples of the sporozoans. Defining protozoa can be challenging due to their diverse and often distinct relationship with one of the another. Only a universally shared characteristic among all the protozoan is their status as a unicellular eukaryotic organism. So why they are having this unicellular eukaryotic organism? Because the only universally shared characteristic, that is they are having the unicellular eukaryotic, means all the protistants, why they are kept together? Because of they are having unicellular eukaryotic cell. Consequently, they possesses eukaryotic membrane bound cell organelles capable of performing the various variety of functions. Now, protozoan disease. Protozoan contribute to the occurrence of numerous significant diseases in both humans and animals and plants. So they causes disease in the human as well as animals and plants. Besides functioning as a parasite, certain protozoa are recognized as a opportunist pathogens, particularly impacting individuals with compromised immune system. So the people who are having less immune system or less developed immune system, then in that these parasite can established very easily. Okay, so this is some of the examples of the human disease that include the African sleeping sickness, malaria, and amoebic dysentery. These are caused by some of the protozoans. In animal, protozoan disease encompasses conditions such as leishmaniasis, that is caused by leishmania, and affecting dogs, humans, and rodent, as well as babiosis. So these are some of the animals that get affected by the leishmania and babiosis. Additionally, protozoa play a role in the plant diseases such as phloem necrosis in the coffee plant and the sudden wilt of the oil palm. So only two are reported here that they are giving harm to the phloem, and that causes the necrosis and also wilt in the oil palm disease. Right, so this phloem necrosis that occur in the case of coffee plant. Okay, so this is some of the diseases. Parasitic protozoan display the intricate life cycles that encompasses diverse morphological stages and involve multiple hosts and vectors. So they are having many vectors and many hosts. So that is why they are showing the diverse morphological stages. In favorable environment, they typically exist in an active feeding and growing form known as the trophozoite. So this is basically because we can see this morphological stages in the case of malarial parasite, right? So when they are very active and a feeding phase, this is called as trophozoite. When conditions become unfavorable, the trophozoite has the capability to transform into a dormant cyst. So now this is the another stage we can see, that is called as a cyst, enabling survival in a harsh conditions. These various forms of the protozoan undergo multiplication and can infect the blood or tissue of the human, leading to the onset of illness. Right. So this is some of the stages that we can see in the different morphological stages in the case of malaria, right? Trophozoite stage, then singlet stage, then the dormant cyst stage, right? Okay, so this is all about this session. We will have some more session to complete the microbiology. Till then, thank you very much.